Well, hi there. Good morning, dear ones. Happy Saturday morning. I'm so excited to see you this morning. We are going to talk about the life changing magic of 90 days. So, whether you are one of my students who's been in life mentoring school forever, or you enjoyed our workshop, or you're a podcast listener or on our email list, I just want to welcome you in. It's so good to see you this morning. I have had a beautiful morning already. It is gorgeous here in East Tennessee. And y'all, I already have my swimsuit on because Stevie and I are going wake surfing. The water is still pretty warm here. And actually, last year, we bought wetsuits on Amazon so that we could keep surfing even in the fall. So, Vicky has a good point. She said, I have been here for 6 years and have loved every minute of it. I adore you, Miss Vicky. Thank you for saying that. I would love to know how long you've been in my world. Have you been here since the Turquoise Kitchen back in blogging days? Did you just find us this week for our Design Your Life workshop? I would love to know how long you have been in my world. Have you been an LMS student for 5 years, 6 years? um I would love to know. I'm so honored to chat with you today. My way of looking at life and way of looking at how we make transformation and how we set goals keeps evolving. And today, even if you have been a student of mine for a long time, I think you're going to really learn something. I want to inspire you to create your most magical 90 days in the next few months. And I am proof positive that you can keep doing that even after you've been doing it a long time. So I did an experiment in the last quarter. So for July, August, and September, I did an experiment where I decided to create my most magical 90 days. Even though I've been doing this for 10 years, you guys, I've been living my life in these amazing 90-day cycles for 10 years. And I decided that I wanted to up level my own life and I wanted to create an amazing 90 days. And I had a lot of big goals that I set for my business, but I also wanted to create all of that magic while prioritizing my family, taking a lot of time off, traveling, like right in the midst of the summer. And I am not kidding you. What I have created and experienced over the last 90 days has been nothing short of a miracle. And I want to help you do the same. So I'm going to talk about that, some things that I learned even just over the last 90 days that are really fueling me going into my next 90 days. At the end, I'm going to share with you my new 90-day goals, and you're going to love them, I think. um I keep challenging myself to keep doing this work while prioritizing the things that matter most to me: faith and family and rest and all of the things that, I think when we think about living intentionally and setting goals, sometimes we can think of doing that to the detriment of our own selves, of our health, of our family. And I don't do that. That's not the way I do it. I like deciding that all of those things that really matter to me that come first still get to come first, even when I'm creating beautiful things in the world. So I would love to know if by chance, is this anybody's first time to be with me on a live training? I would love to know that. And we are just going to dive right in. We're going to dive right into this system that I have been using for the last 10 years to create literally my dream life, you guys. When I look at the life that I experience, and it's not that I don't have troubles, because we all do, but living my life this way has given me such an intentional, purposeful way to live in the midst of what sometimes is hard and challenging things that come our way. So, what if I told you that your whole life could look radically different in 90 days? Not in 5 years, not in 1 year, not someday, when things calm down. But in this very next 90 days, we are headed into the last 90 days of the year. And I really do believe that if you make a powerful decision today, using the framework that I'm going to lay out, I do believe that you can have your best 90 days yet, and that it will set you up for 2026 and what will likely be your best year yet. That's what I'm deciding. I'm 55 years old, and it is so easy for women my age to think that your best days are behind you, or, that kind of stuff is for people who are younger or whatever. But I keep proving that wrong. I keep having my best year yet, my best 90 days yet. Um, Even though I have been doing this for a while and I've created some pretty magical things. But that's how powerful the framework is. I feel like there is really something magical about 90 days. It's long enough to really rewire your brain, to change your habits, to transform your mindset, to build trust with yourself again. But it's short enough to keep you focused and awake and alive to what is really possible in your life. Here's the problem. Most of us don't live like this, you guys. Most people I know don't live like this. We live in default mode. We live in survival mode. We keep rehearsing our problems. We keep scrolling through everyone else's life. Am I right or am I right? Living on repeat. Or we keep looking and living our life by the news cycle and living divided and disconnected. We rehearse the same thoughts, the same feelings, the same problems, take the same actions over and over again. And what it gives us is the same results over and over again. A life we don't really enjoy. We feel disconnected to ourselves. We tell ourselves we don't even know what we really want. The weeks blur into months, months blur into years, and we start wondering, well, where did that time go? And the truth of it is, it's not that you don't have enough time. It's that you haven't learned the magic of focusing your energy and your thoughts into a life that you really want to create. And I'm going to show you how you do that today. And everything changes when you do. So, why 90 days? Why not 30 days? Why not a year? Well, 30 days, and this is based on science, is too short. It sparks momentum, but it doesn't create deep change. It doesn't really rewire you in any significant way. A year can be too long for most people. It feels overwhelming. And I read a book years ago called The 12-Week Year, and I started living my life in these cycles. And 90 days really is the sweet spot. It's long enough for real transformation, but short enough for you to still feel some urgency. And I will tell you this, your brain loves a time limit. It loves a finish line. And when you give it something powerful to think about and work toward, it will stop spinning on all the problems in your life and it will start creating solutions. So, the other thing that I love about 90 days is our whole lives are kind of designed in seasons. 90 days is a season. And God wired us, I think, for this seasonal living, for spring and summer and fall and winter. And one season can really change everything. If you garden, think about how you're planting a seed maybe in May, and just a couple months, a few months, maybe 90 days later, you look out at all of those seeds that you planted and it feels like a miracle. That is what one 90-day cycle can do. And there are so many benefits. Those of you, tell me in the chat if you have already been living this way for a while. I want you to tell me how living this way has transformed your life. Because my clients that are in life mentoring will tell you over and over that 90-day cycles have changed the way they think about life, have changed the way they live, have changed the results that they create in their life. It's changed their emotional state. There's so many benefits to doing this. One of the benefits is that you learn to build trust with yourself. You prove to yourself that you are a person who follows through, that you look at what you really want to create and you create it. I will tell you that after doing this, you think I get tired of this, you guys, but after doing this for so long, I am so excited about my next 90 days. And when you live like this and you allow yourself to have your desires, what you want to create, and you start living toward that, it reignites energy. I was working on because I knew I was going to teach this today, I was really working on my own intentions for what I want to create in the next 90 days. And I'll tell you more about that later. But I was getting so excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be the best. So it reignites energy, it rewires your nervous system. So a lot of you, especially if you were in my workshop, my Design Your Life workshop this week, we talked a lot about your nervous system and that we really have two states of being. We can live in survival mode, which is kind of fight or flight, or we can live in thriving mode, which is a way of living intentionally in creative mode. And research shows that if you've been living in survival mode, it's going to take some time to rewire that and to get those new pathways to stick. And 90 days is about how long it takes for a lot of people. Some people experience it way faster, but I promise if you live with intention for 90 days, things will be different. I also noticed that living like this has a compound effect. So you might say to yourself, well, me setting an intention to get healthier, maybe walk 10,000 steps a day for 90 days. Well, what's that really going to do for my life in the end? But what happens is when you start living this way, those 90-day cycles start to add up to exponential growth. And I don't know if you were on the training where Angela talked about, she counted up, she's one of our coaches in Life Mentoring School, and she counted up that she has done 27 90-day cycles with us, 27 of them. And she started talking about all of the incredible results that she has created in 90 days by stacking up 90-day cycle over 90-day cycle. And it was incredible and so inspiring when she mentioned all the things she's done in 90 days. And I can say the same, that you get this compound effect, these compounding results when you do this. It shifts your emotional state. We don't set goals because we want to just achieve a thing. We want to learn to shift our emotional state from always living in our problems, always living in fear and resentment and bitterness and worry and stress. We want to shift that and teach ourselves how to live in an emotional state that we love, that's healing for us. An emotional state of gratitude and inspiration and love and joy. So doing this for 90 days helps you shift out of living in an unintentional emotional state that you don't love, that's creating illness, likely for many of us, to a way more powerful emotional state that gives us the experience of a life we actually want. And you start to make agreements with your future self. You start to live into a new identity. You no longer identify with living in survival as someone who's overwhelmed all the time, and you start identifying as a person who's healthy and thriving and creating the results she wants to create and creating relationships that she wants to create. And the other thing that I will tell you about this is that this is not your normal set a goal, set a 90-day goal. This is not your normal way of doing that, because we don't do that as a way to prove ourselves, to prove our worth, to set goals that we think we should set. And I put should in quotation marks. We wake up to the desires of our life. We wake up to what we really want to create, to those desires that maybe have been lying dormant in your life for a long time. We wake up to those. What do you really want? I love that scene in The Notebook where he asked her, what do you really want? What do you want? And we have to wake up to what we really want. And that desire is fuel. So we're going to set a 90-day goal today. Not that we think we should set. We're going to set a goal from desire. What do you really want? We've been taught to tamp down our desires, to be more practical, to not want too much. And we've so done this, you guys, that even when we just a little bit whisper those desires or speak those desires, that mean part of our brain, that mean girl inside of us says, what are you talking about? You can't do that. That's never going to happen. You're never going to create that. And so even if we have learned to at least whisper them, we beat ourselves up before we can even start. But when you start to really speak the desire for 90 days in a row, you write down, this is what I want to create. This is what I'm creating. You stop ignoring yourself. You start connecting back to what you really want. And that following of that desire makes you feel alive again. It's like a little kid. Little kids know what they want and they're so excited about that next thing that they want. Where's that little girl in you who remembers what you want? I love the scripture that says, delight yourself in the Lord and he will give you the desires of your heart. Desire is sacred. It's God's invitation to your calling, to what you were put here to create in the world. And what makes it more powerful is when you speak it out loud. So tell me in the chat, tell me below in the comments, what do you want? Do you have the courage to say it out loud? What do you really want to create? What's calling to you? And the moment that you declare it and you say it out loud and you have the courage to write it down, it's like you're putting an order in with heaven itself. It's really powerful, you guys. We think that speaking it isn't powerful, but it is powerful. You're placing your order in the heavenly realms. This is what I want to create, to become in the world. And it activates a part of your brain called your reticular activating system. And that system of your brain gets to work on this thing that you want even while you sleep. It looks for connections and solutions and opportunities. When I started speaking the things that I wanted to create, it was amazing how opportunities just came to me, how I looked for solutions, how I looked for answers for how that was already true. We spend so much time looking for problems that we're not used to looking for answers and looking for possibilities and looking for desires. So say what you want out loud, write it, declare it, share it, and your whole brain and emotional body, your whole system will go to work for you when you start speaking your desires out loud. So one of the things that I was working on for this summer, I knew it was going to be a crazy summer. I had a lot of travel this summer. I was speaking, I was doing a big speaking event in July. And always in my business, August had been a really hard month for us because it's summertime. I wasn't, I was taking a lot of time off. We weren't doing any promotions in our business. And it was always kind of a dismal month in our business. And the crazy thing is, in August, in my program, Life Mentoring School, I was always teaching about abundance. And so I looked at this and I'm like, it's crazy that I'm teaching about abundance and how to live that abundant life and how to believe that God wants to provide everything for us and that we have everything we need. But in August, myself, in my business, I'm living kind of in scarcity. Like, oh gosh, I hope we have a good month. So I decided at the first of the year that I was going to set a crazy goal that we were going to create our best month ever in my business in August. And my brain went to work on how to make that happen. And I am not kidding you. All the planning that we did and all the things we put into place and all the execution, you guys, we ended up doing an online summit in August where we were enrolling people in my coach certification program. So for those of you who don't know, I have two programs. I have Life Mentoring School, which is for every woman who wants to stop living by default and start living by design. And I run a second program where I train life coaches how to do what I do. And you guys, we ran an incredible, amazing, it was my favorite thing I've ever created in my business. It was called Next Level Life. We ran it in August and we enrolled more coaches than we ever have for our training program. And we had our best month ever in my business after having years of having a really dismal August. I really did create my most magical 90 days ever. And that's because I declared it. I decided it. I said out loud what I want. I said to my team, I'm tired of having Augusts where we have to worry, right? And I spent months creating and daydreaming and thinking and planning and executing and working and believing more and writing it down. And we made it come true. So I promise you this is possible. I've lived it out in a million ways in so many different areas of my life, from my business to my health to relationships to just having fun. I set a 90-day goal a couple of summers ago to learn how to wake surf, and I got my swimsuit on today and we're going wake surfing today. That seems like a crazy goal that maybe doesn't matter, but it was something that I really desired, and turns out that goal has deepened my relationship with Stevie because we love doing it together. We've created something together that we love to do. It's a good, healthy thing. I see, fix my swimsuit. It's a good, healthy thing that we can do together. It's a physical thing that has made me stronger. Like something as seemingly insignificant as that, as a 90-day goal, has turned into something that has blessed me in so many ways. So let me reframe goals for you, because so many of us have been taught to set goals from the wrong energy. We're not trying to prove ourselves. You're already worthy and loved and beloved by God. You are His cherished creation. Goals are not about impressing others. Don't set a goal that you think other people will be impressed by. Listen, my goal this time, one of my goals is not going to impress anybody, but it's for me. It's my desire. Goals are not about shame or compulsion or punishment. The purpose of a 90-day intention or a 90-day goal is to cultivate a more connected, powerful relationship with yourself, to become more of who you already are, to step into the fullest expression of who God made you to be, to live into your true self and your full potential. And the magic is you don't have to put pressure on that goal. You get to create it from fun, from flow. You get to do it because you want to do it, from desire, not from hustling or grinding or white knuckling, but from real desire. And when you live this way, it ripples into everything. What we notice in Life Mentoring School is when women come into our program and start doing this, they might set a goal around their health, but what they will notice is their marriage gets better. Their work feels more meaningful and purposeful. You can set a goal in one area, and what you will notice is a ripple effect into everything. Your 90-day goal also isn't just for you. This is your legacy. It's for your children, your marriage, your community. This is how we heal our corner of the world. And when you rise up and start stepping into that version of yourself, your favorite version of yourself, the version of you who creates her life on purpose, who does things because she really loves them, who means it, who has meaning in her life because she shows up like she means it, it's so magnetic. It makes you feel alive. The way you show up to everything changes. The way you grocery shop changes. The way you show up to play with your grandbabies changes. The way you show up to parent your kids changes, because you begin to change the way you show up for you. So I want to make this practical for you. I want to help you design, maybe for the first time, your first 90-day intention or goal. And I want you to start with desire. If you couldn't fail, what do you really want to create in the next 90 days? I want you to say it out loud, and I want you to be as specific as you can. So I want you to start telling me in the chat what you want to create. Now, listen, you're going to have a tendency, because we all do this, to go, I just want to be healthier. I want you to set something more specific than that. And I don't want you to necessarily set an outcome goal, but I want you to set a goal that I like to call a process goal, where you just decide that this is the thing you want to create. Maybe the one thing you do want to create is a healthier body. How are you going to do that? Are you going to walk every day? Are you going to join a gym and weight train 3 days a week? Are you going to create an eating plan and eat on that plan? So you can tell me your desire, but I also want you to think about what would it look like in 90 days to have done that? What can you do on a daily basis to work toward that? Okay? So, I want to share with you, and then we're going to talk through a lot more ways to work through it. So, I've got a beautiful structure to give you, but I want to kind of illustrate it by telling you how I'm working through my next 90 days. So, I just came off, by the way, an amazing 90 days. So, I want you to ask yourself first. The first question is, what did your last 90 days look like? Were you living in survival mode? Did you create 90 days that you loved, that you're proud of? Um, Sometimes I think it can help to just look at where we've been. So for me, I was like, oh man, this has been an incredible 90 days. Like it was so, so good. And I wrote down, I kind of gave myself a little bit of an evaluation. Like, I did a bunch of traveling and I did this speaking and we created this amazing summit. And I really showed up for my life in a powerful way. I wrote down all the good things. Okay. And then, and I want you to ask yourself this too. So as you're reevaluating your last 90 days, tell us about it in the chat. How would you describe it? Like, and listen, be as honest as you can because, um, you don't want to gaslight yourself. You want to just be as honest as you can because listen, I've had 90-day periods where I was just surviving and there's nothing wrong with that. We are where we are and you can be where you are with a lot of compassion, okay? I remember not too long ago, a couple of years ago, I had a 90-day period where I got a really bad sinusitis from learning how to wake surf. And I was just not good for like 90 days. My health wasn't great. I couldn't heal from the sinusitis. I was getting steroid shots and antibiotic shots. It was just not my favorite 90 days. So, wherever you are is where you are, and you can be there with a lot of compassion for yourself. What I noticed too, after I asked myself, what were all the good things about the last 90 days? The second thing that I asked myself is, was there anything in that 90 days that left me kind of feeling heavy or that I don't want to bring into my next 90 days? Okay. So when I answered that question, it was very eye opening. So even though I have a lot of wins and it was one of the most magical 90-day periods I can remember, like probably the most magical ever, what I realized is when I asked myself, like, what do I not want to bring into the next 90 days from that? Here's what I realized. I did a bunch of traveling, speaking. I hosted a live event. I was gone probably 4 weeks from the summer. And so I feel like a lot of what I did was just like order things for the next trip that I was taking, pack for that, come home, very messily unpack, go on the next trip. And so I got to the end of this summer, you guys, and realized like, oh my gosh, my closet is a mess. My bedroom area is a mess. My personal care products are kind of a mess. There's too much of things. Like I just realized like, oh, there are some things that I don't want to carry into the next 90 days. And I also started to really think about what do I want? Do I really want to do a massive decluttering? I could do some of that. What I really want is to create a better space for my things. And I realized that part of the reason why why I wasn't really unpacking and staying organized is because I don't have room for the things that I have. And so I decided as I was working through this in the last few days, I decided like, oh, there's this great space in my bedroom where I could order like a wardrobe where I could put some of my things, maybe especially my nicer things that I don't wear that often, maybe my nicer shoes and boots and dresses and coats and all of that. And it could be in my bedroom, but be closed. And I am not kidding you. As I started making a plan for how I could address this problem area of my life, I got so excited about it. Instead of feeling shame, like, gosh, I can create incredible things in my business and I have all these systems in place, I've kind of let my own personal systems go. And I am so excited about what I'm going to create for myself in the next 90 days. And I decided to work on that first because my daughter is getting married in October. And the wedding is like 2.5 hours away. So I'm going to have to do that again, a lot of packing, be gone for, a week and all of that. And I want to get my stuff really curated and organized and up leveled before that. So I think I've already picked out the wardrobe. I really believe that even in the next month, or in the next few weeks, I could have that whole system created and it would create so much peace for me. Now, that all of that came from the question, what feels heavy from the last 90 days and what do I not want to bring with me? So I want you to think about two things as you think of your next 90 days. What do you really want to create? For me, that is a book proposal. So I've been working on it. I'm not far from being done with it. I already have um, a literary agent. And so I'm really excited about that. That's what I really, really desire. What do I not want to bring with me in the next 90 days is all of this disorganization around my own personal things. I'm so good at keeping the rest of my house and everything else in good shape and taking good care of everybody else, but I just noticed the last few months I've not been doing that for myself. So I'm headed into the next 90 days with two focuses that feel so supportive. I'm so excited about them. Instead of, if we're not doing this on purpose, you could go into the next 90 days going, yeah, I've always wanted to write a book and that feels heavy. Yeah, all my things are disorganized and that feels heavy, but we don't have any good plan for either one. So whatever it is for you, I want you to think about those two things. What do I really want to create? What's my desire? And what feels heavy that I don't want to bring into the next 90 days? And I want you to think about those two things as we talk about how we move through these 90 days. So, what do you really want? If nothing was off limits, what would light you up? I want you to anchor that in desire and calling and identity and legacy. Maybe you want to get healthier over the next 90 days because you want to be able to get on the floor and play with your grandbabies. Somebody just said, I want to write a book. I want you to think about not only what you want to do, but why. So what you're going to do today is you're going to make a list of the things you really desire. And maybe it's one main thing. And you're going to spend some time writing down, why do I really want that? So when I did that for my book, that I hope is called House of Joy, by the way, like our podcast. But when I do that for my book, my thoughts are, and this is what I told the literary agent. I said, if I were gone tomorrow, I want my daughters to have this book in their hands that's basically all the things that I teach my clients, so that if I'm gone, they have my voice. They know what mom thinks about this, or how would mom reframe this, or how does she think about emotional resilience or wellness, or what does she think about intentions and goals? What does she think about mindset? I want to get all of my intellectual property in a book. And I'm so excited about it when I think about the why. Because I want my daughters to have this and I want my clients to have this. Right now, they can have it, but they have to come into Life Mentoring School and work through all the videos, and that's great. But I want there to be a more accessible way for people to have what I've learned in the last 10 or 15 years in one place, okay? And that feels so inspiring to me. And then when I think about what I don't want to bring into the next 90 days, what's feeling heavy for me, that felt so obvious. And honestly, when I started journaling about it, I started feeling shame, like, oh, I should be better at this. This is what I teach people to do. How did I let this get so out of control? Like my brain wanted to be mean to me about it, but then I decided like, no, of course. Of course that happened. I was gone most of the summer and then I come back and I'm, taking care of my clients and taking care of my grandbabies and taking care of my kids. It was easy to put myself on the back burner. And I am going to intentionally provide this support and inspiration and curation for myself that feels so supportive of me. And so I literally can't wait. I'm so excited about the next 90 days. And it's just that simple, you guys. Do you see what I'm saying? It's as simple as taking the thing that you really want or the thing that's weighing heavy on you and reframe it and decide. You make a powerful decision because you can switch that story in your brain by just deciding to. So instead of living from this place of, I'm never going to change, it's too late for me. No, you make a powerful decision. You tell your brain what you're going to do. You start to be the boss of it instead of it being the boss of you. And we have a life wheel. You could look up online if you don't have access to ours, but we have a life wheel where you can look and kind of figure out, where do you feel the most heaviness or drain? Where do you feel the most resistance in your life? Where do you feel some shame and you feel like, I got to fix this thing? Maybe you feel like you neglected your health or you're low energy, and you can just decide that this is an area that you're going to create some support around for yourself. So ask yourself, around that area that you might struggle with, what is one supportive habit that I could practice that would lighten the load and give me energy for my dream goal? Keep it simple. One practice, not a second big goal, but a supportive habit that's going to lighten your load and give you energy for your goal. So you might say to yourself, like, if you want to write a book, I can't even remember who said that. Maybe you want to write a book, but you also have been neglecting your health. What if you decided that I'm going to create a walking practice so that I can think about what I want to be writing about and have time to meditate and think and get healthier as I'm doing it. And then when I come in from that walking, I'm going to do 30 minutes of writing. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you're creating a habit that supports your goal. I'll walk for 20 minutes every day to fuel my energy for writing. And as you do this and you start stepping into it, your next 90 days could change everything. Your next 90 days could literally transform your life. So for me, or maybe for this person who wants to write a book and also is feeling a little shame around what's happened in her health, she could say, in the next 90 days, I will complete the first draft of my book, or I'll write 5 chapters in my book, because I so desire to share my story and impact lives. And along the way, I'll support myself by tending to my health and walking 20 minutes a day. I am a woman who honors her creativity and her energy. You literally can change your whole life in 90 days using this system. And not because the goal itself is magical, but because of who you become when you aim for it and decide and choose it and live into it. And when you live in that desire, you stop proving and you start creating. You discover so much courage and so much energy that you didn't even know you had. It starts having this ripple effect. So I want you to choose your dream 90-day outcome today. Say it out loud. What do you want? Let your brain and your heart and God himself get to work on this with you. This is a beautiful, amazing, intentional way to live out what we say is really important to us. So for me, my desire-driven dream goal, finish my book proposal and get a book deal. Why this matters? Because it's not just a proposal. It's stepping into my legacy and my impact. It's leaving something for my daughters that is so important to me. And then if I look at the area where I want to create a supportive habit, where I'm feeling some heaviness or feeling like I want to make some change in my personal stuff with my organization, I create a habit around that. So I've already gotten to work on that. I'm already deciding which of those wardrobe systems I want. I'm already scheduling a day that my assistant can come and help me get it all set up and help me create a rhythm for this that gives me peace and supports me. So for me, this looks like something like this. In the next 90 days, I'll finish my book proposal, get a book deal because I want to share my story, expand my legacy, and leave something beautiful for my daughters. Along the way, I'll support myself by bringing powerful systems into my personal life, ordering a new wardrobe, curating my closet, organizing my personal care stuff, because I am a woman who creates beauty and order and expansion in every area of her life. Do you see how much more powerful that is than just dealing in the problems, just continuing to spin in the problems? And we have a perfect companion to this 90-day system. It's called the 90-day dream planner. This is what my clients use. This is what I use. This is our brand new one, by the way, for the next quarter. And it has every single thing that you need in here to do it. It walks you through helping to set your goals. It's got pages and pages that help you create what you really want to create in your life. It has these daily planning pages where you can decide what are the top 3 things that I want to do today. Is one of them related to my 90-day goal? What's the thought I want to practice? There's a whole section in this planner about practicing the thoughts that you want to practice. We talked about that. We've talked about that in the workshop and even on a previous podcast, that you have to intentionally create new thoughts around what you want to create. And that helps you create a new emotional state. There's pages on that. There's journaling prompts in the back to help keep you going. This is literally every single thing you need to walk this out in real life. And the thing of it is, you guys, I know that lots of people have done this without support, but I will tell you this. This is what we do in Life Mentoring School every single day, every single month. Everything in our program is designed to help you walk this out, to help you actually live your life in a way you say you want to live it. And so if you haven't joined us yet, we invite you to. We've got so many bonuses going on right now. Actually, through tomorrow night, we have a double book bonus where you get a copy of my memoir and this planner shipped to you. And that is if you join us with a yearly membership. If you join us with a quarterly membership, you get the planner itself shipped to you. But it's such a beautiful, beautiful way for you to literally walk this out, for you to put legs to it. Because if you don't put legs to it, the thing of it is, you're inspired, but you're not really living it out. And as you focus on that goal and as you aim high, it takes all of that focusing on your problems. It diminishes that some and it helps rewire your brain so that at the end of 90 days, not only have you created something amazing, but at the end of 90 days, you feel like a new person. You feel like you, but so much stronger, so much more content, so much more purposeful, right? And that is what we do. That's how we help you. So we would love to do that. For those of you who attended the workshop, you have a version of this. If you upgrade to the All Access Pass, you have a version of this, a 30-day version of this in the workbook that you got sent. And you have a digital copy of it no matter what. And we can we can send out a digital copy for whoever needs one that doesn't have it. You can start doing this either way, but if you want to do it in a way where you give yourself all the support in the world, where you surround yourself with people who are doing it, listen, you have never been more inspired than surrounding yourself with the women in our program, because the last, if you were in our workshop, the last few days you got to spend it with me. But imagine 2,200 of us who are on fire for our lives and awake and creating beautiful things in the world, who are experiencing problems and challenges just like everybody else. But we know how to process that. We know how to still keep moving forward no matter what's going on. And not in a way where we gaslight ourselves, but in a way where we really are present for our actual lives in a beautiful way. So I hope this has helped you really understand the magic of 90 days, how it can change everything, how you can walk out of this next 90 days and not see your life the same at all, not experience your life the same at all, and go on to create amazing, beautiful, life giving things. Things that matter, like relationships and connection and joy and gratitude, and really start to live your legacy in a way that you're proud of. I've been thinking about that a lot. That I don't, I mean, I say leave a legacy, but really what I mean is live your legacy. Live it now. And the best way I know how to do it, that I figured out how to do it, is to do it in 90-day cycles with support, with tools that work. The tools that we teach you in Life Mentoring School just work, you guys. So, this is my bold invitation for you to make a big decision today. Just decide. I am not going to keep living in the same cycle I've been living in. I'm going to give myself what I need. I've been doing this over and over, like making big investments in myself. I hired a one-on-one coach a couple of years ago. It was so valuable. I have a business coach. I give myself the support I need. And when I first started doing this, you guys, I didn't really have the extra money to do it. I remember the first time I ever hired a coach, I cashed out my 401k that I had as a physician to do it. Listen, money sitting in the bank or whatever, yeah, that could be an investment, and you could, and I do. I have some money invested in an investment account, but I'm going to tell you that the money that I have invested in myself, the time I have invested in myself, has paid off way more than any investment that I've ever made in the stock market or wherever else. And I do believe that we are living through a time where we have never needed you more than now. We have never needed you alive in your own life, sharing your gifts, getting your voice out in the world, stepping back into the arena. We've never needed you more. Look around, spend some time on social media, and ask yourself, what does the world need? It needs women who are alive to their lives, who are passionate about what they're doing and about what they can contribute. I'm so excited to see what this next class of women is going to do. Every time we get a new class of women in Life Mentoring School, it shakes things up. They come into our group freshly inspired, and they inspire the rest of us. I can't wait to see what happens when they start, just like Carrie said, when they start stacking goal upon goal upon goal. Imagine the books that will be written. Imagine the women that will create beautiful relationships from that. Imagine the workplaces that will change. Imagine the communities that will benefit from you saying yes to your life, becoming the fullest expression of yourself, stepping into your calling with your whole heart. What happens from that is insane. So, I love you so much. Thank you for joining today. That's what I have for you today. I can't wait to meet you in there. If you decide to join us, and you should, just head on over to Life Mentoring or to ediewadsworthcoaching.com/enroll. Join us, even if it's just for a month, you guys. I promise you will want to stay longer. But whatever it is, we want to welcome you in because we want to help you become everything you were created to be. We want to support you in every way we can. All righty. Love you so much, and I'll see you next time. Um, Susie said, "Are the encounter groups via Zoom?" Yes, they are, Susie. I don't know if there were any other questions because I just got on a roll. Um, oh, yay. Lori just said she enrolled for the quarterly membership. Amazing. Terry, I enrolled for 1 month. You can order the planner, Terry. It doesn't come automatically with that membership, but you can order it. And as soon as you get access to our teaching portal, you'll see a link to order it. So good. The workbook is exactly like the planner, but for 30 days. Pretty close. Yeah, so you'll get 30 undated days in that workbook. Yes. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go wake surfing. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see